Okay. Okay. All right. Boom, bop, boom, bop, bam. Alrighty. Can you send me a copy of your resume real quick?
Yeah.
You just email it to me.
And send it on Discord too.
Oh yeah. I'm just actually easier.
I have to have to add on my most recent one on there.
Okay. Okay. Open it up. Alrighty. Okay. Skills.
That's a new one. I didn't even realize I had it on there already. Yeah, I need to adjust the date, but yeah.
Okay. So here's what we go on to do. We go to resume builder. Alright, we're gonna say Gabriel. Alright, cool. Alrighty, we're gonna start with your experience. So you said developed a custom AI landing page creator with custom domain hosting and 100 plus users, contributed in training a proprietary custom data AI model to produce realistic images using curated data set. Really? What'd you guys use for the training? That's crazy.
Sorry?
I said, what did you guys use for the training? Because that's crazy.
Oh, for the AI model?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we made our own like like the image generator for brands.
Yes.
Like you have models that are wearing specific brands. We basically took in a bunch of those and we fed it. We fed a bunch of like big model brands, so like all the Nike ones, all the like Adidas ones, like just like literally like hundreds, if not like 1,000 pictures of like a bunch of these model brands. And then we had a client that wanted wanted to like be able to generate when they have new pieces of clothing, wanted to be able to just automatically generate like AI people wearing their brands.
Okay.
So we fed all that in, and then we took all the clients' product information and we fed that into an LLM. So it uses all of the like models from all the other companies and it puts the clients' products on them.
Oh, wow. So then, what tools did you guys use to do that?
I'm not sure of the specific main tool because I was doing all the Python scripting with getting all the images, and then we had an actual AI engineer who was building out the actual custom AI model. But I worked on I worked on the back end with Open Router, and I think we were using GPT 4.1 for some of it. But we had an actual AI engineer who was doing all the custom dataset modeling.
Wow. That's pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. So you wrote a data scraper for it?
Yeah, I pretty much wrote like the Python backend for it, and the front end. So what I wrote was pretty much the client would go into wherever they want to do it. They would input all of their new products, and then it would take those products in the backend. It would then feed that into what the AI engineer wrote, and it would send it back to the LLM to go ahead and get it would be the same images, but also new images of like what models are already wearing of brands, and then it would go in there and actually replace like the Nike and the Adidas and whatever branding with like whatever shirts or hats that the customer had.
Wow, that's gas actually. Okay. Great to see pipelines, for streamline, built to maintain multiple AI-focused products, including article generation, Salesforce, and like. Okay, cool. All right, so watch this. If I go to LinkedIn right now, notifications.
Let me check my LinkedIn. I think I got a.
Oh gosh, this right here. Let's take it out of. Let's just say the United States. Did they do more than the past 7 days? Okay. Okay. So, can you see my screen okay?
Yeah.
So, this is a notification I got from LinkedIn the other day. So, when you look at insights to advance your career, so when you go to here, I guess they have a explore career insights thing. But if you section the region by the United States and then you look at artificial intelligence engineer, you'll see that it's up 10% like just in the last 7 days.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right, right. So look, so if you literally just looking, what is this, April 13th, there were like 6,794. And today there's 9,308.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Know that because when I looked at, I got this notification from LinkedIn where they said, because they'll send like alerts showing you, look, so your Monday's jobs report, open artificial intelligence engineer roles were up 28% last week. So,
okay.
So essentially, what I figured out is, and like even from like some of the like recruiter messages and stuff I've got from people, like this guy, right? Like he just messaged me today, lead developer, app architect, and then you see that it says like agentic AI, like that would be considered an agentic AI role, or this guy building real AI systems. Yeah, here we go. We can look for somebody who can turn LLMs into real production grade systems, multi-agent workflows, integrated into scalable .NET microservices and React apps powered. And he labels it. Yeah, see, so notice he doesn't even say any of that in the title. He just says building real AI systems, like in the subject of the message that he sent me. So like, what's happened is all of the, or a lot of the software roles, because everybody's on the AI kind of bandwagon right now, is really what they're looking for is a .NET and a React developer, but they're saying they're looking for AI developers. So we're going to change our branding accordingly.
Okay.
There we go. Now,
I'm dead. No.
I mean, it's kind of accurate. It's just the meta right now.
It is the meta.
Oh my goodness. So, were you leading any of the projects?
Yeah. The one for the AI landing page I was leading. All of the AI focused products, so the article generation, sales, analytic tools I was leading. The only ones developed like there that I was like just a contributing one on was the custom AI data model one.
Mm-hmm.
But all the other ones I was leading.
Oh wow! And so did you work with like other junior developers?
Not other. Well, I worked with one intern. So there was one I was leading that I was working with an intern on, but then all the other ones it was just mainly it was mainly me working on it.
Okay, but you did work on one of them. You worked with the intern.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha. And then did you just talk directly with the head of the company?
yeah, I did.
Okay, so watch this. So, because you were the one who was heading the projects, and you worked with a junior, so you worked with an intern. So you're not lying; you're telling the truth. So there's senior, and then when they say AI engineer, so now if a job description were to say something like, we're looking for like an AI like scientist, that'd be a little different. That would probably be somebody who's like actually, getting into the mathematics of like the
Yeah,
underlying stuff of the model. But when they just say like AI software engineer, they mean a normal software engineer who knows how to use Claude.
yeah,
So all right, senior AI engineer, and then you were handling the DevOps stuff there too, right?
yeah. I did. I was handling. So I made like the CI/CD pipeline. So I did. So I created like pipelines in GitHub Actions that would like auto deploy to our server.
Mm-hmm.
It would automatically run the tests. It I created like backups for the pipeline. So we did. I forgot what it's called because I just like most recently did it. It was like a bundled up version of the project that would be downloaded to the server.
Okay.
So that when you're because the issue I was seeing was that when I would auto deploy when it was doing the things of like updating it, it was very brief, like literally like a few seconds, where the site would be like it would show like unavailable because it was updating the code.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I switched it to I forgot what it was called. It's like a manifest or something like that. It's like a bundled up version of all the code that it would just download to the server and then swap over to that one. So the server would so the site itself would like never show that it was down when new updates were being applied.
Got you. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, so we're gonna go.
I forget the word is called. Like, there's a word for it, but it's like a bundled up version of the code. But yeah, no, I did that. I did the pipelines for all the internal projects we were doing, so they
Mm-hmm.
all had like automatic deploys, automatic testing. If something like went to production and then production was like brought down, it would automatically revert to the last previous successful build.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
Okay, fire. So
And then
then,
most recently, I just changed over literally like this last week. All the because all of our stuff was on Oracle, so I swapped us. I changed over all of our internal stuff to OVH Cloud from
oh,
Oracle.
nice. Oh, that's sick. So what I'm gonna do, here is, so I already did the senior AI engineer. So the primary thing that we're gonna want to do is it's two things. One, we're gonna be like explicit about the technologies that you use, like literally like right here in the title itself. And part of that is because it makes you easier to find. It also catches their eye more because they're able to see. I've literally had like interviews where they'll be like, "Did you work with GraphQL?" And I've listed everything else except for GraphQL, and then I'm like, "Well, yeah, I just didn't put it in there. It was kind of taking up space." And then they're like, "I need you to list it like three more times on your resume," and I'll be like, "Huh?" And they're like, "Yeah, just put the word in there because." Apparently, the way that they do some of the job searches, sometimes they'll literally like Control F and they'll text search to see how many times you have the keyword in there. I think that it's silly, but I mean I guess that's how some people do it. So we got that, and then yep. So I put DevOps there because I mean that's what you were doing. You were doing DevOps. Did you guys use cloud computing like AWS or Azure?
We did. I didn't do too much with it though. Like one of our client projects was like one for a insurance company. So we deployed it on AWS.
Nice.
But that was one of the other engineers. Like I basically wrote the whole application. So I wrote like the payments and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was the one who actually went and did all the logic in AWS and deployed it there.
Okay, got you. Alrighty, so yeah, we're gonna do Here's what we will do. What were the primary languages that you used?
TypeScript, JavaScript, PHP, Python.
I can also put Node.js. You use Laravel, right?
I use Laravel, yeah. Laravel for like all of our ones, but like I don't know if it's because there's a framework.
Yeah, I got you. Did you do React or Angular?
Yeah, we did. Not really too much Angular. We did Angular literally for like one project. But like pretty much every project I was using like React or Laravel.
React. Cool. Angular. All right. Let me see what else. For the CI/CD stuff, what did you use to set up the pipelines?
Just GitHub Actions.
Got you. All right, GitHub Actions. And then what did you guys use for the AI stuff?
Specifically what? Like the logic itself was written in Python. To actually connect to like the models and everything, we were using OpenRouter.
OpenRouter, nice. Oh, that's cool. Let's say router, and then do you remember which models you were using specifically? You mentioned ChatGPT, so you used the GPT models.
Yeah, I mean we used GPT 4.1. We used Sonnet 3.5. A lot of GPT models. Yeah, we used Gemini 2.5 Flash.
GPT 4.5, and then
No, 4.1.
Oh, Gemini 4.1.
Yeah, GPT 4.1, and then it was Gemini 2.5 Flash. I think yeah, 2.5 Flash.
Gemini, and you said Gemini. What was it? Flash.
Yeah, 2.5 Flash.
Okay, Gemini.
It's a GEMINI.
Say that one more time.
GEM and then INI.
There we go.
Yeah.
And the number 2 point what?
2.5 Flash.
2.5 Flash. All right. Cool. Alrighty, that's enough for this line for right now. Okay, this is a lot better. All right, TypeScript, PHP, Python, Node.js, React. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, what did you guys use for your database?
SQL.
SQL.
Okay. I think there was one that we maybe used. I forgot what it's called. There's a what's the Vite one? Supabase.
Supabase.
There was yeah. There was one project that we used that for, but all the other ones we were using QL.
Okay, perfect. So then this. Okay, so this right here is a much better title for your job description because, like I said, just the way that if you're optimizing for recruiters to search for you, because like I said, literally everybody's looking for AI engineers. You were leading a team, so we're gonna do senior, and then you had DevOps experience, so you're gonna throw that in there as well, and then you're gonna list out your technologies for that particular job explicitly, right here in the title, so that they can go, ooh, my keyword, and then they'll be like, okay, cool, he checks that box.
Okay.
Yeah, so literally, exact same job description. It's, honestly, like I said, bro, it's literally just kind of like doing a little bit of glaze. That's literally it. Talking about the exact same thing that you did, but just in a good way. So, yeah. All right. So developed a custom. Okay, so this was one. So I paid a dude one time like $500 to help me redo my resume. And one of the things he taught me was, so you have numbers in here, which is good. However, he said, so when people are putting out these job descriptions like this, or the person who's hiring for that particular role, a lot of times your resume is going to go through a couple of different people, right? So oftentimes you'll have a technical person who will help write it. Half of the time they will just have ChatGPT write it. However, when you have somebody like HR, or a lot of times even like the CEO, like if they're not very familiar with like programming and stuff, you're going to have somebody who's very familiar with the business side of the company read your resume, that technical speak is going to go like right over their head. And so you want to frame your resume in such a way that a technical person who reads it, right, they would be like, oh, this is really, really good information. Like a lot of the technology you have listed here and some of the stuff that's in here. I'm a dev, so I'm like, okay, cool. CI/CD pipeline, that looks awesome. However, you also want to frame it in such a way that somebody who's only from business and doesn't have experience with technology would also be like, oh wow, that's really, really cool. So if I'm from business and you go developed a custom AI landing page creator with custom hosting, yeah, I'm gonna be like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Ooh, AI landing page. Okay, I know what a landing page is. Cool. Creator, cool. That's some domain. Blah blah. Don't know what that is. Ooh, 100+ users, right? So like, you also want to be thinking about that kind of thing. So with these users, so it had 100+ users. Do you know how much they were paying for it?
Yeah. There was, I think half of them were on our $10 a month plan.
Mm-hmm.
Half of them were on the $10 a month plan. I think it was something like 30 of them, 30 something like that was on the $20 a month, and then we had a $50 a month plan that like it was like 15 or 20 of them were on.
Okay, so do some rough math and estimate approximately how much you think that they were he was getting paid for all of his users. And like I said, it doesn't have to be exact, but give it like a decent number of what you think it would have been about month. Like you can literally bust out a calculator and do it.
Yeah, let me see. Probably around like
And make sure to include if there are any other like upcharges or special cases or whatever. Like make sure because you want the number of revenue to be as high as possible.
okay. Okay, from the site, yeah, just from subscriptions, rough estimates probably between like 2,000 to 2,300 a month.
Okay, so he's making just over 2K every single month with that. Okay, so 100 users, so 2K.
I was not factoring in like the cost of hosting or like
Yeah, just
whatever
just
that.
pure
Yeah,
native revenue.
just yeah, pure native revenue.
Okay, and then the AI landing page creator. So explain what it would do. Like if I'm a customer and I was coming up to use it, what would happen?
Yeah, so you would go to you can actually go to the site if you want. It's sort of landed.net.
What's it called?
Landed.net.
Landed.net.
Yeah. Oh, you might have. Is it down? You might have taken it down. I don't know.
Tough.
I was up yesterday.
He was like, I can't. He's like, I can't pay the domain cost no more.
I mean, if you got rid of the whole dead team, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but what it would pretty much do is, so you would go in, you make an account, and you would be able to create landing pages based off of business. So you would describe your business, describe what you want the landing page to be about, somewhere about your company, about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You would give it some parameters. So like, oh, okay, like, do you have contact information you want displayed on the page? Do you want certain images that you want uploaded? Yada yada yada. And then you would give it all the information. They would create it. It would go into an LLM, and then it would generate them a landing page based off the information they put, and then it would take them to a builder where they'd be able to customize it. So it would generate the whole landing page, and then if they want to move things around and everything, like if you ever used Wix or something like that, it would be like that. So it would generate the whole site first, and then it would take them to like a Wix style builder where you're able to edit the site. And then once you're like happy with how it looks, you're able to publish the site, and then it's like servable from our domain. So if your site was called like Michael's laptops or something like that, then it would be like landed.net slash, or it'd be landed.site slash like Michael's laptops. And then our custom domain was that was like an upcharge, so you could pay to add a custom domain. And then you would add in your own custom domain. You would obviously add our a record to your domain hosting. And then that site, instead of being served by like landed.site Michael's Laptops, if your domain was just Michael's Laptops, you would just go there, and that would be your published website.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. So, all right, so it's like a CMS almost for landing page websites for them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Got you. So, all right. So when you say you're the one who like, what are some of the features that you had to work on for this one?
Um. So when we got it, because this is one of the ones we acquired, it was just templates. So I changed the functionality from just like predefined templates, so like 20 templates that you could choose from and then just fill in information, to actually generating like unique sites. Um, so I changed it from like literally just filling in the template information to I built a Python backend. I swapped us to OpenRouter, and the sites were being made with GPT 4.1. So it would have a prompt. It would get fed in the information that you give it, and then it would generate a whole new website not based off a template with GPT 4.1.
Oh wow! So it completely
Um,
bypassed the templates.
yeah, yeah. I did that. I swapped our payment system because before we were using Stripe, just base Stripe, and like PayPal integration. I don't know if you've ever heard of Autumn. It's a wrapper for Stripe.
Okay.
That I swapped the infrastructure to. What else did I do? I don't think the custom domain logic was working. So like it was there, but it wasn't working. So I don't know. I fixed the custom domain logic. I added in bring your own key. So if you don't want to use just our base GPT 4.1, you could bring your own key with OpenRouter, and you'd be able to use whatever model you want.
Oh wow, that's fire.
Um, and I mean, besides that, for like really big features, I added an AI image generation. So you could generate images. So if you wanted like a image in the nav bar or like a logo, you could generate the logo and everything with AI.
Oh wow.
Um,
Yeah,
and
that's actually really good, guys.
yeah, I think that was mainly most of like the new features. Everything else was just like style revamps. Like I redid the whole front end and everything like that. Yeah, but those are everything I think in terms of like big features added.
Okay. So then, and would you say this was one of the bigger projects that you worked on?
Yeah, this was like the main one I was working on.
Okay, so we're going to word this a lot better. So rather than develop a custom AI landing page, okay, so you completely revamped. Yes, I know what we're gonna do. So we're gonna say, what's the word that I want to use though? Because I mean, you essentially just replaced the entire old functionality that they had, and gave it a completely new feature set.
Yeah.
We're gonna say migrate. All right, so we're gonna say led the migration for our. And was this one of his primary products that he had?
Um, like in terms of internal projects, yeah, like this was it was this and like two others that actually had customers on it. Because this one had like 100 users. We had another one that we acquired that I didn't really build much on. I just did some small features that had like 500 users, and then our biggest one had like 1,500 users. It was like it was the article generation one I was telling you about.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that one had like 1,500. So I mean, the article generation was probably the biggest one. This was probably like the smallest one in terms of how many users were there. But this is what I spent most of my time on.
Okay, so I'm gonna say let the migration for companies, legacy landing page builder slash client CMS, which is the content management system. Say refactoring refactoring static site. Yeah. Refactoring SSG. Static site generation templates with a dynamic and so when the way that the static site code generation would work, so would you just send a request to the backend API? It would generate you some code, and then you would take that code and then insert it somewhere. Did you guys have like an AI agent that would like inject it for you?
Wait, is this for what? Sorry.
For the static site generation template that you did, was it you would
Okay.
have the LLM generate the code for it, and then you would take that code and stick it in somewhere with your code, or did you have like an AI agent or like an MCP server connecting?
No, yeah. We added on an MCP server for it. Like the
Mm-hmm.
base functionality, how it worked was like, yeah, there's a backend running on the site. Um, so yeah, it would be like like a brand new site. So like it would feed it in. It would create it would give it like a project ID in the public folder, and then it would put all the information in there. And then it would just serve that to like the customer. Just from our like native backend, and then we added an MCP server for Claude and ChatGPT. So then, as long as they do OAuth with our website, so we added an OAuth, so you would actually go to Claude, for instance, and you would type in like mcp.lambda.net. It would take you to the site where you would have to run OAuth.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would connect to your account, and then you could just have a conversation with Claude, like, "Oh, can you generate me a landing page for whatever?" It would generate it, and then you'd be like, "Okay, perfect. Publish this on Landed," and then it would take the code you generated and publish it on Landed.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. The MCP server. During static site generation template, MCP server, generative AI integration. Yeah. Integration for building custom client landing pages over for 100 plus users. Alrighty. Integration. Okay, yep, that one's a lot better for that. Okay, cool. And you said it was, and what was it written in?
Python. The backend was Python, and the front end was it was React. It was like some React, some some PHP and Laravel.
Gotcha. And Python. Was it Fast API?
Yes.
Okay. Fast API. React. Was it Next.js?
No.
Okay. React.js. Python React.js. Okay. And then what was the primary model you said that they used for this one?
For the site generation, the primary model was it was GPT 4.1, and then we were using for like some of the image generation stuff, Gemini Flash 2.5.
Okay. Then Fast API, React.js, yep, okay, Gemini 4.1. And then I'm assuming some of the stuff did this interact with storing anything in SQL?
I mean, the site itself, like the users and everything, were stored in like SQL.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Like SQL was the database we were using.
All right. So contributed in training proprietary custom AI data model to produce realistic images. Okay. So for this one, I know you mentioned that you had to build was it a scraper that would go and fetch the images?
Is this for the
Contributed in
yeah,
training a proprietary custom AI?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah? So this one I use what was the I'm trying to think the WebView Python thing. It's like WebView tool Python. It's like a thing that people run end-to-end tests with.
Was it Puppeteer? Playwright?
Playwright. There. Thank you.
Playwright. Okay.
Yeah, that was Playwright. But no, yeah. I built a scraper. It was using Playwright, and yeah, it was also built in Python, and it pretty much went to like it was like a big list of like just the biggest companies with like products like Nike, Adidas, like clothing companies. I don't remember like more, but like a bunch of those, and it would go there, it would scrape a bunch of the images of the models, and like the images of people wearing the clothing and things like that, and that would get fed into the LLM.
Okay, built a web scraper, and so the way that it got fed in is you had that custom data set, and then it would include the images as reference images, correct?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. So you guys probably had like a RAG pipeline. Okay, so I'm gonna say so built a web scraper, and use Python.
Yeah.
Python using Playwright to scrape. And how many data like images do you think you guys used for the training?
Hundreds.
Okay. To scrape from popular clothing brands. Scrape images from popular clothing brands and feed the clothing brands and scrape images from popular clothing brands and feed to our RAG pipeline for okay. And then did you guys have like an in-house model as well, or did you just kind of extend out the ones that existed?
I think the custom one that they were making was like an in-house one because that one was just for this client project. So I think it was an in-house one that the AI engineer was creating.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, that's what he was training all the training it on, like all the images. As far as I know, I don't think he was using any available model. So I think he was making his own.
Interesting. In use models in and the images and it was used for marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing workflow. And this was also used alongside the landing page generator, I'm assuming?
This one, no. This model specifically, it was just for it was a client project. So it's like a proprietary one that was just used for their company, for them to be able to streamline like their marketing stuff with their new clothing lines and products and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for the landing page one, that one was we used that for the landing page site. We just used the available models already out there, like GPT 4.1.
Okay. And then do you know how big the company that you guys were doing this fine-tuned model for was?
I forget their name. I don't know like exactly how big. I know they're based in Vegas. I don't know if they're like multi-state or anything like that, but they probably are, I'd assume.
Do you know what
Yeah, but
kind of industry they were
I'm
in?
not sure. Clothing.
Okay, so they were an e-commerce brand.
Yeah,
Do you have any idea of how much money they might have been making?
I have no clue.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know the project size itself was pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the budget was for the product size was in like the six figures.
Oh wow, the
Um,
budget for the project size?
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I mean, it had like some of our senior engineers on there. Like there were like 10 people working the project. Like, it was our senior engineers. We had an AI engineer, and then we had me on the back end alongside like a couple other people. So at least like within our company, there was like 7 to 8 people working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
Wow.
like at least from like the budget that we were working with was like in this. I didn't know the exact amount, but I know it was in like the six-figure range.
Sheesh. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Client. Nice. Okay, perfect. Yep. People like seeing data points. All right, cool. For 100 plus users and already. So then we got created CI/CD pipelines for automatic testing, and actually landing pages for. Yeah. Okay, that works. Boom, boom. Already created CI/CD pipelines for automatic testing and deployment. Okay, so what was it that you were using for the CI/CD pipelines?
All the CI/CD pipelines were GitHub Actions. There were some that I think had like Kubernetes. Um, yeah, there were some that were using Kubernetes, but I didn't like work to make any of those. All the ones that I made were just with GitHub Actions.
Okay, for automatic testing and deployment. And how many different environments did you guys have?
Uh, what does that mean? Like staging and like production,
Yeah,
or?
like did you guys have like a dev, a staging, a prod?
I mean, dev was just like again when you're running it locally, like not like a live one, but we had a staging and a prod.
Okay. So testing and deployment to staging and production. Okay, to staging and production environments. Cool. Okay, built to maintain multiple hand-facing products, including our article generator. Okay, yeah. So tell me about the article generation tool.
Yeah, so this one was I think. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, for the article generation one, I mean, this one was like pretty self-explanatory. It was just like again generating articles. So how it worked pretty much is, yeah, you log into the site. This was kind of like pretty complex. Actually, now that I think about it, I forgot there was a lot of stuff on here. But I mean, like the general premise as a customer is you would go in, so you would give an article like keywords. So you yourself wouldn't like go in and, for instance, like type a description of it. You would pretty much like, okay, you want the article to have a name, and then you would give it keywords about what you want the article to be about. So let's say like climate change. So you would do like climate change, nature, weather, so on and so forth, and you would give it like a bunch of different keywords. You could also have AI generate keywords. So we had like a free implementation of it would generate you like 20 different keywords. And then you would do that. We had this linked into multiple CMSs. So if you were using like Ghosts or Sanity, Shopify, any of these places that you wanted these articles hooked up to, we had an automatic CMS integration for like all the most popular ones. So when you publish the article, it would automatically publish to that CMS you connected to.
Okay. Wow.
And then yeah, so it would once you're okay with like the keywords it shows, it would then make you like 20 different articles using a model. I don't remember what model we were using for the base generation, but I do know that We had bring your own key on it. So again, we had a base model, and then you could also bring your own key if you wanted to change the model that you were using. And then yeah, it would generate you 20 different articles. You would pretty much download those. If you connected it, or if you didn't connect it to a CMS, then it would just give you like a download file for it. You could download all 20 articles and read over them. And then if you did connect it to a CMS, you had the option to, like, again, if you want to go through each article, and then you have the option to, if you want to publish multiple or if you want to publish just one that you like, and then you would be able to publish that directly to the CMS.
Wow. That's cool. Keyword
Yeah.
discovery and analytics. Bridge. And do you remember what model was used for the article generation portion of things?
For the base generation, I think it was, I don't remember exactly. I know it was a ChatGPT model. I don't remember the exact one.
Okay, we'll say just 4.1, like the same as earlier. Leveraged GPT 4.1 for let's say marketing for writing for say for marketing ad copy generation and complete and generation and featured integration with existing CMS platforms. And then name a couple of the ones that you said. You said Sanity.
Yeah, Sanity, Ghost.
Did you do a Strappy?
I don't think Strap. No.
Okay, Sanity, Ghost. Were there any others?
Shopify, I think was on there. Sanity, Ghost. Yeah, I mean mainly like Sanity and Ghost. There's like a list of them. I forget the names of all of them.
Okay. And then what was this one written in?
This one was PHP Laravel. On the back end, it was using Python. It used this really weird framework called like B.
Okay.
Like B framework. Trying to remember the B.js, this thing. I don't know. It was a really weird framework I'd never used before. But I think it was like B or something like that it was using. This one had like this is one of the ones we acquired. It had some stuff I hadn't used before. Like I had this thing called RabbitMQ in it.
RabbitMQ is a good one to mention.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I never used it before. I didn't really understand what it was doing. But it was using RabbitMQ.
Nice. Okay.
And then yeah, this one also had like the CI/CD pipeline set up in GitHub Action auto deploys.
Okay, nice. And then you also have mentioned there's a sales analytics tool. Okay, so explain the sales analytics tool.
Like, okay, yeah. So the sales analytic one, this was made. Okay, so all of our majority of our stuff was hooked into Stripe. So we pretty much took all the Stripe data for all of our internal projects, and we built out a sales analytic tool that would pretty much take in all the data. So it would take in like I don't know what times of day like most purchases were made, or like what were the products that were selling the best, what were the products that were selling the least. Was there any like uptick in product sales during like a certain period of time? So it was pretty much a tool to analyze all of these sales on our internal projects to see like, what was doing well and what was doing what. So like if for instance like we had a product that was not selling very well, or maybe like one of the tiers that we thought maybe was priced too high and the sales weren't like coming in, we would maybe lower the price on that.
Oh, wow.
And then see if like that helped with sales. But it was just a tool to pretty much just analyze all the sales on all the internal projects and see where we can make improvements. And that
Oh,
was
wow.
that was built with we had like a front end for that was using React, and then we had a back end that was written in Python.
Okay. Created custom. Created an internal sales analytics tool. I created in React JS, and you said what was the backend?
Python.
And Python. Fast API.
Yeah.
Okay. And React I've created internal sales analytics tool. Sales analytics tool in Python, Fast API, and React JS for ingesting Stripe sales data against for ingesting let's say company data against multiple different data and would it automatically implement the price adjustments, or would it just give them information they had to do it manually?
It was automatic. Yeah, so it would do it. So like in the site, so we built like a front end for it. So you'd be able to go in and you would generate a sales report. So you could adjust it, like if you want a sales report for that day, if you want it for the week, if you want it for the month, and it would go in and generate you a sales report on that.
Data for dynamic user pricing and sale and revenue breakdown reports. Yeah, that's actually pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie.
W.
And do you know how much revenue he was bringing in?
For all the projects, it was in like it was in the 5 figures for internal projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, just internal projects in general. Because again, the majority of it was it was on consultancy. Before the internals, it was in like the 5-figure range.
Okay, and then that's monthly or yearly?
Monthly.
Oh, monthly. Okay. For if you had to pick a number between 1 and 10 in that 5-figure range, what would you pick?
I would say 10 plus.
Okay, so like 10K plus.
Yeah.
And reports for user pricing and sales reports across multiple SaaS applications. Application. Okay, so dynamic sales reports across multiple SaaS applications with so 10. Let's say 10K plus MRR, which just stands for monthly recurring revenue.
Okay.
And then, okay, so this last point, designed and implemented multiple front-end interfaces across multiple application for, okay, so what did you use to design?
What do you mean, like just make like what was the front end written in, or?
Well, when you say you designed and implemented, like, did you like do you use like Figma and like Adobe XD or something, or did you just go straight into like React?
No, yeah, we just use straight up like for a lot of the internal ones, the first that we're just making straight up.
Mm-hmm.
We just use whatever we felt most comfortable with, so it was like mainly just React.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And then what did you guys use for
we
like
didn't use
the
Figma
CSS
much.
framework?
Uh, my brain. I think for like landed, I was using Bootstrap. Um, God, what were we using for the CSS frameworks? I honestly don't remember. Let me double check. I know we're using Bootstrap for some.